What is up, LCS fans, and welcome to the Week 5 Power Rankings. This week, this season is insane. Constantly back and forth, upset after upset after upset, making it very hard to power rank. But today, I'm going to try. My name is Paulaway. I put out constant LCS content every single week, daily recaps, power rankings. I also stream on Twitch every now and then. But in the meantime, comment your own power rankings down below. Subscribe and like the content because I am here for you. I'm here to keep you updated on LCS constantly. Without further ado, going into number 8, we have Shopify dropping 1 spot. Shopify, yes, they beat FlyQuest. Seems like a good week, yes? Well, no, because yes, they have 3 wins. Yes, they have 3 upsets. But all their losses look terrible. They get absolutely dummied when they lose. They are far too inconsistent for me to put them anywhere other than 8. And if they even want to make the playoffs, they need a 2-0. 2-0, not a 1-1, nothing else. 2-0. And I will confidently say if they do not 2-0 this weekend, they're not making playoffs. Unless magically they do make playoffs. I don't think they win a single game in playoffs. I'll be honest, they are far too inconsistent. They are 8th, dropping 1 spot from last week. The big one, NRG dropping 5 spots. I kept them near the top for a bit. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. They were looking good for the early part of the season. They might just be the worst team in the LCS right now. They are looking rough. Now, is this their comfort spot? Are they the underdogs that rise up? Maybe. It happened last season. Maybe we'll see it, but you have to make playoffs first. They have to start stringing some wins together. This week, they lost to Cloud9 and Dignitas. One was close, one was not. Doesn't matter. 0-2. For a team that is now on a 4-game losing streak, they need to pick it up. They were 4-1 at one point. They're now 4-5. They are not looking good. This week, they played Team Liquid Immortals. Do I expect them to beat Team Liquid? No. Do I expect them to beat Immortals? Yes. But this is this season in the LCS. All my predictions have been wrong so far, so what's another week? Moving on to number 6, dropping no spots, gaining no spots, exactly where they were last week, 6th place, Cloud9. You might look at think, oh, they went 1-1. There's teams that went 0-2. Why is Cloud9 not higher? Well, because the game they won was versus NRG, who, like I said, is on a 4-game losing streak. NRG's not looking good, so beating them in a very close game, I'm not putting much weight into that. Their loss versus 100 Thieves, can you guess, can you remember how much of a gold advantage they had? 5k? No. 7? No. 9? No, not even. 10,000 gold. You must think, oh, they must have won that game. No. No. Their bad map movement and team fighting cost them that game. They lost that game. And that, for me, is a sign of a team that is broken. You can't have a super team be up 10,000 gold versus a team of half rookies and throw that. This ain't a super team. I'll say that right now. Cloud9 as an organization has tried building super teams. It doesn't work. They have not built their success over the years on super teams. They have built their success on bringing up rookies and adapting them to the LCS and doing that. They're not Team Liquid. They're not TSM. They're not here to build super teams. I think that was their big mistake. Reggie said it best way back. You can't just buy the best players, unless you're Steve. You have to have some sort of synergy, which even Steve had because he had Doublelift and Xsmithy. He had that connection. With these players, it was kind of just a bunch of players thrown together, a bunch of name value. They're not looking good. Next week, they play FlyQuest and Team Liquid. This is a very possible 0-2. I'm expecting at best a 1-1. They don't 2-0. Unless something crazy happens, they're not 2-0. And in my opinion, if they even want a shot, they need to, this has been said before, Mithy has to go. You can't be holding on a coach for this long. Look at any traditional sport. You take a super team. Imagine if the Chiefs started off with this bad. Imagine the Chiefs in the NFL start off like 1-8. Do you think Andy Reid is still there? No shot. No shot. Mithy has to go. He's had issues with the same issues with teams like 100 Thieves in the past. You have to move on from this. I don't know why they haven't already. After the Super Week, they should have pulled the trigger at that point. Coming in at number 5, raising 3 spots, Dignitas. Now, I originally had them in 4th, but I also remembered how bad they looked in other weeks. I've been saying for weeks, the individual players on Dignitas are actually really good. I really like this roster, but it seems like they could never fully come together. This week they did. They looked great. They were the first team to pull out Smolder, and I believe, unless my memory is mistaking me, the only team to win on Smolder. I think we saw 3 Smolders. they were the only team to win on it, and they played against it, and they dominated. They definitely know this pick. They did their research. They took advantage of the live patch. Something a lot of these older teams just aren't doing. They beat Immortals and RG. And then this week they're playing 100 Thieves and Shopify Rebellion. So they're safe versus Shopify because Dignitas isn't in first place. So they're automatically going to win that one. 100 Thieves, I can't wait for that game. For me, that is my match of the week. Get rid of all this other big matches. I want to see Dignitas versus 100 Thieves. Two teams fighting for a playoff spot. It's going to be a bloodbath because, as you know, 100 Thieves is the bloodiest team ever. I really like this Dignitas roster. They're probably my third favorite roster, just player-wise, and I really want to see them in playoffs. I doubted them before, but they're here, and I think if they can carry this momentum, they'll be a threat to even make top 3 in playoffs this year. Moving on, dropping 1 spot, Immortals. Immortals only dropping 1 spot, going from 3rd to 4th after 0-2 weeks, so why? Like I said, originally I had them at 5th, and I had Dignitas at 4th. The reason I swapped it back around was the last 2 weeks before this, the Super Week and Week 2, Immortals has played better than Dignitas. I'm not going to take 1 week and completely say that Dignitas is better than Immortals. When Immortals loses, aside from Week 1, they actually look pretty decent. They look good. In their first loss, they were on sole point. They just happened to just lose a bunch of fights, you know? So they always have a path to win the game. They're not one of these teams that's going to roll over and die like Shopify Rebellion by 20 minutes. They're not going to be down 10k by 20 minutes. That doesn't happen. Even versus FlyQuest, like, they kind of held it close there. But this week they did lose to Dig. Dig was on a heater. They lost to FlyQuest. This week they are playing Shopify Rebellion and NRG. I see them potentially going 2-0. I would honestly be surprised with any. If they go 0-2, 1-1, 2-0, anything's fair game. I do want to see this team really come together. I want to see Tactical rise to a top 2 AD carry in the league, which I think he can. Moving on, Team Liquid moving up 1 spot, their highest ranking this year. They started at 5th, they went down to 6th, then they worked their way up to 4th, now they're at 3rd, they're getting there. So one thing I've said about Team Liquid from the start is they are very good in winning games. When they win games, they're clean, they're decisive, they're smooth. They dominate when they win. The problem is, when they lose, it's very glaring mistakes, but it seems like they're fixable mistakes. And having a player like Impact, who's been the best player in the league, one of the best players in the league, let's be honest. Impact is one of the best offseason signings ever for this split. Kind of wish Cloud9 went for it, but you know, you gotta keep Fudge, I guess. For this week, they beat Shopify Rebellion, lost 100 Thieves. That 100 Thieves game, if you haven't seen it, go watch it again. It is fantastic. Amazing game. This week, they play NRG Cloud9, the finalists from last week, the 2 teams that finished ahead of them in summer playoffs, and I can't wait. There is a high potential. They 2-0, and they basically solidify themselves a spot in playoffs. Now, I said 3 weeks ago that I expect Team Liquid to finish 6th, and they would come in, instantly lose a playoff series. I think they can make an argument for finals at this point. I think it's going to be a dogfight for that top 3 spot, and I believe they will end up there again. If they can keep this level of play, there's a good chance. You know, there's that question on the dive, do you take Cloud9 to the field? I'm taking the field. I don't think Cloud9 even makes finals at this point. That's a prediction. You guys can come back here and roast me afterwards, but I don't think Cloud9 is making finals. I believe there are better teams, more synergy, and I don't think Cloud9 will turn around. I do believe Team Liquid can challenge for it, though. The management there is really good. They have a good coaching staff, good philosophies. They're doing good. They've completely turned their split around. They look terrible early on. Coming in at number 2, rising 3 spots, 100 Thieves. What a turnaround for this roster since the first 2 weeks. After the first round robin, they were sitting at 4-3. They had lost to the 3 teams above them, and they beat the 4 teams below them. They were exactly right in the middle. This week, they played really well. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this stat, but across all regions, 100 Thieves is one of the bloodiest teams, like a top 5 bloodiest team. When they're in games, there's like 30 to 40 kills. They go hard, and one player I want to shout out, the best performing rookie so far, Sniper. Sniper's gotten better every single week, and it's very rare to see that with a rookie. Usually they'll have a down week, then a good week, then a down week. No, he's looked better every single week. Every single game he plays, he looks better. He's my early pick for Rookie of the Year if he keeps going like this. There are a couple other options, but for me, he's the front runner. He's especially in a role like top lane. Top lane is very rarely a role where you can come in as a rookie and dominate. Is he dominating quite yet? No. Will he in summer? Yes, he will be a top 2 top in summer, and I'm calling that right now. Really like this roster. Quid as well, beating all the doubters, although I've said this before. Anyone that was doubting Quid or asking for him to be gone just didn't know League of Legends. He was a rookie coming into a disaster of a team, because we heard behind the scenes that 100 Thieves roster was a disaster. And they kept him, and it's paid off. So, you know, maybe you shouldn't listen to Reddit. Maybe you should kind of listen to the players behind the scenes. This week, yes, they beat Team Liquid. They beat Cloud9. Amazing comeback versus Cloud9. Amazing. And then this week, they played Dignitas and FlyQuest. 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. I can't wait. That is going to be an amazing match. Same with Dignitas. I think this is two really big games. I wouldn't be surprised to see an 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0. I think the top 4 teams right now are very competitive. I think there's a couple that they'll definitely beat, and I think there's a bunch of 50-50 games. There's a lot of parity in the LCS this year. Constantly, every single game, we don't know who's going to win. I don't think since week 2 there's been a single game where everyone's like, oh yeah, no, this person will win. And then usually when they say that, that team loses. A lot of parity, a lot of upsets. I have lost all my channel points on every single league stream at this point. I don't bet for a reason, okay? I just do power rankings. Moving on to our number 1 team, 3rd week in a row, FlyQuest. This week, yes, they lost to Shopify Rebellion, but let's be honest, that's just a curse at this point. If you're first place, you're losing to Shopify Rebellion. And then they turned around, they beat IMT. Technically, this was their worst week. I'll be honest, of their level of play, this was their worst week. But if you take into account their entire season, they are not anything but first. Now, if I was ranking just on the performance of the teams this week, they would probably be 3rd or something. However, this is a ranking of the entire, every game played, every single week. As a whole, they have been the number 1 team, and they remain this. They're going to make playoffs. There's a good chance they can go 2-0 this week, and they basically lock it in this point. Really good redemption for Jensen. I hope he makes Worlds. There's a lot of players that people doubted on this team. You have 2 rookies. You have Jensen, who had a down year. You had Whippo coming in, who hasn't played in Pro for a while. You have Inspired, who had a bit of drama with UG. Like, there was just so many questions around this team, and I'm so happy, especially FlyQuest, an org that I've been a huge fan of since the very beginning. I went to Vancouver. I saw them play. Unfortunately, they lost. They got 3rd, and then I got to watch Cloud9 get 2nd. But anyway, I've been a fan of this roster, this organization for a long time, and I really hope they can get over the hump and finally win an LCS title. I would love to see them win. I just like seeing orgs that haven't win, and I think FlyQuest deserves it. They've made finals twice, they've made Worlds. I think it's their time. So this week they are playing Cloud9 and Team Liquid. The Cloud9 game, I don't expect them to lose that. I think they win that very handedly. And then the Team Liquid game, I'd give them like a 70% chance. And like I said, they're probably going to make finals. They're definitely making playoffs. I'm super excited. I love this roster. But that is going to be the power rankings in recap. Number 1, FlyQuest. Number 2, 100 Thieves. Number 3, Team Liquid. Number 4, Immortals. Number 5, Dignitas. Number 6, Cloud9. Number 7, NRG. And number 8, Shopify. Huge thank you for watching. Be sure to follow my stream, subscribe, as you can see my videos every single week, like, and please down below. I love reading comments. Anything you want to say, just your thoughts on LCS, your own power rankings, teams, or players you're excited for. There's no LCS this week, so I do have a special video coming out. Be sure to sub, see that video when it comes out. I will see you guys next time.